I firmly believe that the chief of staff role is really tethered to women in leadership because it is so overwhelmingly dominated by women. That isn't to say that there aren't great male chiefs of staff, because there are. There are terrific ones. And I think it's becoming more and more mainstream for men to sort of absorb this role as well, and that there are men out there who are very talented at it. But I think women have sort of a natural inclination to listen, to absorb, to think. I think we talked about this before, but, Reese Witherspoon gave this speech once where she said, I hate reading scripts where the woman says, what do we do now? Because no woman I know in a crisis would look at everybody else and say, what do I do now? They would say, okay, here's what we've got to do. Right? I mean, they sort of like take control of the situation for the most part. Obviously, there are women who can't do that. But, and I really feel like women are tethered to this role right now because they overwhelmingly dominate it. And I have a couple of very provocative theories, which I'm happy to share. One is,
Go for it.
I think that the chief of staff role becomes sort of the target of the blame game, in part because it's underutilized, it's underleveraged, it's all of those things, right? But with a woman in the role, it's much easier to push them out, right? And actually, I'm going to plug this book once again because I did it last week, which is Shannon Nutter and Julia Carreon wrote this book called Walking on Broken Glass. You can pre-order it. It's coming out in September. And Shannon was really helpful in sort of talking to me about how a certain type of woman gets pushed out overwhelmingly above and beyond everybody else. And that they talked to hundreds and hundreds of women who had been pushed out of roles. And there's an archetype that sort of experiences this, which is you speak truth to power, you're highly logical, you're sort of formidable in your presence and in the way in which you maneuver in the world. And people find that deeply threatening and annoying. And so, and I actually had two friends where the two of them both got pushed out within like weeks of each other. And I said to them, you know what the problem is? You were trying to get shit done. Like that was the problem. So, I mean, I think there are real issues around making this sort of tethered to women in leadership. And I think that there is sort of a higher probability that chiefs of staff get pushed out because they're women, because it's easy, because it's whatever.